Okay, looks like we're recording, and it's time for another update. Looks like I'll be fine for now. I'm not going to be evicted or anything. Seems I managed to get the bills covered somehow for some reason. There's also a local restaurant nearby. Actually, I still need to help them put these flyers on. I actually made some. They're actually hiring for waiters, waitresses, and dishwashers or whatever. So I helped them with some dishwashing the other day, since apparently they had two waitresses quit on them on the same day. Can you believe that? One of them got pissed off that the other one didn't show off, and so they needed help. So since I was there, I decided to help them out, but I'm very busy with my own work. They asked me if I wanted to keep working there. It's just the schedule doesn't exactly work for me, but it's pretty decent money. I got can't really complain. I got a ribeye steak out of it, so for helping them out, it was good, pretty delicious. Oh yeah, so what I've been doing. So I actually got this thing. I was at Herberger's with with my mother and her friends the other day, and then in order to clear up some space, you see how got that shoe rack here. Found this. Apparently the store is like going out of business or something, closing down, so they have to like sell everything. So picked this up while I was there. So this way, anybody who comes visit, they got plenty of space to put their shoes. Not that I ever get any visitors other than usually my mother coming here every now and then. What else is going on? Oh yeah, I'm about to make some food. So I figured out why my sleep schedule is so the way it is. It's because I just usually don't eat in the morning, and that's why I'm usually asleep during the daytime. But if I were to eat, okay, right now, what time is it? Yeah, it's a little bit before 7 a.m. today. And so what I usually like to eat is I gotta prepare these. This is cucumber. So cucumber, I got parsley here. What I need to do, there's actually some tomatoes I gotta cut up and slice. Oh, that reminds me too. This is another thing that I picked up while I was there at Herberger's, because I gotta be able to reach up all the way up here, since I'm not exactly the tallest guy in the world or anything. And this is a little step stool, so I can actually reach up here and adjust my air conditioner, which is on right now. I have a reminder to turn off the heater before activating this air conditioner. Not that but I don't usually turn on the heater anyway, because since I already got these computers running, what I found is that because these computers already emit. Is this on? Yeah, this is on. This is on. I can feel the heat from here. So anyway, the heat already comes out of these computers, which heats up the room anyway. So I typically don't need to turn on my heater when I got my computers running. So anyway, back here, so I got this step stool. Oh, and here we have the bug-zapper thingy. I heard it zap something this morning, so I think it finally got rid of that fruit fly that was roaming around here. This here is actually a useful item. It's I ordered it. Yeah, it's from this website called You Buy Right, which sells basically a bunch of restaurant equipment, because I want to save time, man. Time. And then while I was there over in Rapid City a few days ago, picked up some tomatoes and decided to get tomatoes that'll actually fit into this machine here, because this is one of those slicers. So after I wash this, what I do, you see all these little slicey things here, automatic is very fast. That way I don't have to manually cut it all up. That takes a lot of time. Although I'll probably, maybe I can do that with the cucumber, come to think of it. And then the other tomato that I had, this is actually a tomato from Mexico, but apparently these Mexican tomatoes are far too big. I mean, I like them because they're big, but you know, they're actually not really suitable for this device because they're too big, so I'm gonna have to stick with the smaller ones from Canada, I suppose. So this one I'll just have to cut manually, and then usually I will, you know, get these flour tortillas, you know, cut it up, and then I have to prepare it and bag it up anyway. Yeah, so that's what I'll usually eat each day. This is what I normally eat most of the time. Well, actually, let me explain. So I got the soft shell flour tortillas. I actually do have also organic flour. This is, yeah, this is actually from, I guess I don't have the box, but anyway, it's non-bleached organic flour from the King Arthur brand. Usually I'll just make these myself, but you know, it is time consuming, so I'll just get these from the store, even though I prefer to make my own, because if I get it from the store, then I think these contain bleach, and it's not exactly the healthiest thing to be consuming. But anyway, once these are ready, I'll, you know, slice a few tomatoes, and then pull out one of these and then put it on my plate. Tomatoes, and then let's see what I usually put: tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, baby spinach leaves, kale leaves, what else, you know, sometimes I'll put cheese on there. I got parsley here, I like parsley, and then alfalfa sprouts if I've grown those. I need to get my seeds out and start sprouting more of them again, and maybe a few condiments, and then I'll just fold it in half and, you know, eat it like a sandwich. So that's what I do there. And I got my bottles out because I gotta refill these since I already drank up all of my water. I gotta make more water bottles again. What other updates are there? Okay, so this Burzynski movies. In case anybody doesn't know, there are a few different cures for cancer. This is being one of them, where Dr. Burzynski has what are called anti-neoplastons. And I ordered these, a whole bunch of these, because I plan to submit it as evidence for, you know, if I make references to cures for cancer and so forth. You know, they have no right to be accusing me of having or being mentally ill and requiring any sort of psychotropic drugs because of it. Because I actually can back up my statements with actual evidence. And if they try to, so what I plan to do is essentially just flood the whole entire, every public official in the whole entire state with essentially what are known as estoppels, or estoppel certificates, that if any of them, for any reason, you know, try to accuse me of being mentally ill or having some sort of mental illness, then it constitutes an act of fraud or to conceal a fraud, which I actually have court cases that I can quote from where, or definitions from the law books, that you know, an act to conceal a fraud becomes yet another act of fraud. And as far as I know, you know, as I can tell that I've researched and that anybody else has researched, there are no statutes of limitations on fraud. What are we going to end up here? I'll finish this off since we're getting close to the 10-minute mark after I pet my little furry stuffed cat there. Okay, this character, some of you may have noticed that character. Her name is Misty from, I think it's from a video game called Shining Blade. And what else do we want to go over today? Oh, yeah, let's go over my closet real quick. So I think I finally figured out what to do about, you know, the stuff when I take pictures of it, you know, in order to separate out what's been listed online for sale. I'll probably just stick it here so that way I can quickly find the reference, and that way I'm not mixing things up with whether something has been listed versus what's not been listed. Because right now, you know, I got all of these books I still need to, you know, relist again, I guess. I had to take them off because of the interference into my life from the extortionist government system that's in place. And periodically I came across those people who are like, well, they shoot people over in Korea, you know, their you know, government just shoots people, and my response is, well, that also happens here. So are you trying to say that we're not communist because some other place is communist? Seriously, man. Okay, so not to complain about, I'll get back to that food, but yeah, I found a bunch of belts. I can't believe I had all these belts, but the belts that I like the best are the Army, excuse me, not the Army, the Navy surplus belts. But these ones have kind of, you know, been getting old. It turns out that I actually ordered a whole bunch of them, and I found them. It's just I don't, you know exactly where everything is right now. Because if you move, okay, when you move and you have all this stuff to move, you gotta pack it into the boxes, and then you gotta unpack it, and you gotta find a place to actually put it. It takes time. So anyway, these are my other Navy belts. You can actually get them either from Army Navy surplus stores, or just do what I do. I just order it from online. That way I don't have to go anywhere. So there was the belts, and then I finally got, oh, this one here. This is actually a construction vest that I got from one of my past employers. You know, he was like, you decided you want this, you can have it. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Whoops. So anyway, so yeah, it looks like I finally got a belt that doesn't look old like this. I guess people don't really pay attention to the belts anyway. And then here is actually one of my things that I had from years and years and years ago. This is actually was for all of my business suits, basically. So this is where I now keep all of my business suits. And I finally, so here on this closet, so these are my pants. I usually just wear black colored pants only, most of the time usually. And then on the left side, okay, these are my, formal clothes. I prefer to wear short sleeve. And over here, so these jackets I usually don't wear. They're I wish I had better lighting in here. I know, I can open this up for a little bit. Okay, so this is where these white doctor's lab coats are. Still got a bunch of these. So these, probably not going to wear these again for a long while. And then over here, oh, this box is in the way. Okay, a bunch of martial arts uniforms. That reminds me, I gotta figure out some way to free up enough time and then get some resources going so I can maybe get a school up and running and established, since I need to get back onto the scene teaching. Here I usually like to have things organized in a certain manner. Here starts with no sleeve shirt, otherwise known as singlets or tank tops, and then I got short sleeve. Here is next. So from the brighter color to the darker color, from left to right, and then long sleeve. So these are the casual, informal clothes. Oh, and then over here are shirts that have, logos or writing or whatever on them and other stuff. So, what have I gotten done? I feel like I've gotten not a damn thing done. Or at least not the important stuff anyway. I guess I did get a few things done, just, there's still a lot of important things to do. Right here, this is a document that I need to scan because it's a bunch of complaints about a bunch of violations of rights. So for you people who don't know how these court documents work, like if you ever get sued, because a lot of people are getting pulled over and they're being made to sign tickets for the most ridiculous of reasons, like traffic or whatever. But this one, okay, you'll usually see some, like whatever state you're in versus, your name in all capital letters But what I do is, this is a form of a counter complaint. So it's the state, which is the plaintiff, a non-existent fictional entity known as ens legis. We'll go over that some other day. And then the basically the corporate name based on my likeness, and then me, the real living flesh and blood, not non-corporate version of myself. So as the alleged defendant and as a third-party plaintiff, and then you just list a whole bunch of people there, anybody and everybody who has interfered or in any way connected to interfering or violating with your rights in any way. You just write up all your complaints. And usually you won't see anything, or like they won't tell you anything because they want to keep everything private behind the scenes, because it's technically a private institution. If you actually look up under Dun and Bradstreet listings and Wall Street and whatever, you'll find that actually these courts are listed as for-profit corporations. U.S. Supreme Court, for-profit corporation. A bunch of these are actually corporations. The state is a corporation. The city of whatever is a corporation. They're all corporations. The whole entire system is corporate law. So if you're ever forced to deal with court, then there are certain questions that must be asked. One of the primary things is, where's the contract? If you're dealing with jury or whatever, there's actually a lot of things. But anyway, I talk about this law, and also, that's another thing I wanted to mention on these videos, is I don't want to make videos that are going to be anything like along the lines of keeping up with the Kardashians or anything to that likeness, because I want my content to actually be useful information that is that people can actually apply to their own lives. So for example, getting tools that'll save you time, clearing the clearing up of space, the idea is how to not clutter up your place, because this will save turn this light back on. So this will save time, and you got plenty of closet space to use. If your closet is empty, look at all this space that can still be utilized. And of course, these are my robot vacuums. Speaking of which, I actually had to get a bunch of my supplies back from the local police department here, but before I do that, I'm gonna be writing up a bunch of notices of affidavits of truth, notices of complaints, and estoppels, so that they know to not violate my rights, so that they know that they had better leave me alone, because there are plenty of people out there who know the laws, and we do know that they are committing treasons and felonies every single day on a daily basis. And by their own rules, I've actually found a bunch of Supreme Court cases that remove their immunity. Federal laws, Supreme Court rulings have stated that the state has no power to the state employee has no immunity from prosecution, even if the state law permits it. So even if state law says that they're immune from having to answer for violating the rights of the people, they actually cannot use that as a defense. So you just basically look up all the statutes and codes and their own rules and their own regulations, and you find out, oh, look at this, there is absolutely no defense that they're permitted to use at all whatsoever, no matter what. So if you have not committed a crime, a real crime, okay, you got to understand the difference between a crime. God, so many people don't know the difference between a real crime, actual crime, where there's actual injury, suffering, harm, or damage that has actually been caused, versus a make-believe statutory crime. Like the grass, okay? This is an example. Grass growing too long. Oh, your grass is more than 2 inches long, and we're gonna have to, issue a citation or a fine for, for you not mowing the grass? Is it a crime to let your grass grow? Because you weren't actually doing anything. And how does that harm anybody? If anything, the crime is extortion. If you're dragging people in, forcing them to deal with the court system, that there itself is a crime. So it's like in the words of a famous man from a long time ago. I'm sure you know who all he is once I quote this. Hypocrites. How about you first remove the beams out of your own eyes before you try to remove the speck of dust out of your brother True? So that's how it is. Anyway, looks like I've gone much longer than I intended. 20 minutes. This is my apron. I'll usually wear my apron whenever I'm washing dishes or whatever. So anyway, that's a lot of information covered today. Probably too much, as I don't really want to have long videos. I want to actually keep these 10 minutes or shorter, but maybe I'll start scripting it next time so that way I'm actually prepared and have some semblance, an idea of how to actually present this information in a more organized and streamlined manner. Alright, that'll be it for today. Have a nice day, everyone. Oops, forgot.